but help me. It's 2 stories. You know, we lived in Vienna, and we left in 1939. In 1939, it was impossible to walk on the street for a Jew because you just disappeared. So Shabbos morning, it was the custom, because my father was the rabbi of the city, that the people would come 6 in the morning, and from 6 to 8 it was okay. And then people would daven fast and go home. And you know, my brother and I, we were little kids. If you don't see people a whole week, you're just so hungry to see some people. So we would wake up very early and we would sitting by the door to open the door for the people. And we would hear a little knock, and the Yiddish would just go in fast, can't close the door fast enough. On Shabbos morning, give me how many? Maybe it was the greatest Shabbos in my life, I don't know. There was a knock on the door. And the Heilige Yid was standing by the door. Not a tall Yidler, very fragile, little beard. Because everybody knows all the Rishner Eniklach don't have long beards, just a little beard. Because the Gemara said that Shlomo Melech also didn't have a long beard, just a little beard. They had long past. And he began singing and joined me. Good Shabbos, good Shabbos. Good Shabbos, good Shabbos. Everyone join me. Good Shabbos, good Shabbos. Good Shabbos. Good Shabbos, good Shabbos, good Shabbos, good Shabbos. He walked into the house, closed the door where you could see he's not afraid of anything, just a king. You know what a king is? Someone who has absolutely no fear. No fear. He walked up and down in the room and he sang the whole time, good Shabbos, good Shabbos, good Shabbos, good Shabbos, good Shabbos, good Shabbos, good Shabbos. And then he began talking to me, but since he didn't want to interrupt the melody, and I realized later on, whenever he spoke, was his melody. He never stopped singing. He says to me, Wie azoi ruft men dich? What's your name? And wie azoi ruft men dich? God, was he shining. I didn't want to interrupt the melody either. So he says, Ich heiss Shlomo. And wie azoi ruft men ein. What's your name? So he said, my name is Moshele. Good Shabbos, good Shabbos. Good Shabbos, good Shabbos, good Shabbos. Join me. Good Shabbos, good Shabbos. Good Shabbos, good Shabbos, good Shabbos, good Shabbos, good Shabbos. Then finally all the people who were there, we davened. I I didn't want to say anything bad. The Chazan was davening fast. You know, officially, when it comes to Nishmas Kol Chai, the deepest prayer of Shabbos, Mamash, my soul is singing before you, Master of the world, praising you. Nebuch, the Heilige Moshele couldn't contain himself anymore. He says to the Chazan, the prayers are supposed to go up, but you pray them down. And then every word is engraved in my heart. You know what he says? Maybe this is the last Shabbos. Maybe this is the last Shabbos of our lives. Started long. Is this the way to daven Nishmas? So the Chazan says, you know, I was talking in German, he says, Herr Rabbiner, ich kann's nicht besser. I don't know any better. So, everybody says, Moshe, you go. Join me in the sweetest way. I ben nishmas kol chai Tevorech es shimcho Hashem Elokeinu I vedu achkol basot Vedu sedoimim Vezicha malkeinu Tomi Aminu Oilam Be'ad Oilam Hayadokeinu Mibalodecho Eilonu Me'evelech Ve'goyel U'Mashiach. Remember those words, Paidu Matzil. Ave Pai U'Matzil Mefanes Ave Yoine U'Merachem Chol Esara V'Tzuko Elonu Melech Eloato. The whole davening. And Yom was so special. He, Mamish, took us out of space. Nobody looked at the watch. We finished davening about 11:30. Lighting. I want you to know this Heilige Moshele changed my whole life. After the davening, my mother brought in some kiddush, and you know, it goes without saying, the windows were shut, everything was dark. They shouldn't see outside, and there are some people in there. But Moshe says, when I make kiddush, the windows have to be open. Because I want to tell the world it's Shabbos. So people say, Rav Moshe, the people on the street want to kill us. And it's beyond me what he answered, but it got so deep in my heart. He says, people on the street, they're the children of Esav, who was the son of Yitzchak. You know what happened to Esav? He forgot that there's Shabbos in the world. If I could only remind the world that there was Shabbos, they would stop with the hatred. He says, and the way he said, he says, if Uncle Esav would remember it's Shabbos, he would change his ways. I want you to know Moshele davened Musaf. Then he stayed in our house. And he told us, which we didn't know because we didn't walk on the streets. But we found out that on every street corner was a huge, like on the street signs, a big picture of Moshe. And it says, der Feind des Führers Nummer 1. the number one enemy of the Führer. And anybody who finds him gets 100,000 shilling. Why was he the arch enemy of the Führer? Because Rav Moshele, do you know how many hundreds, thousands of Yidden were grabbed on the street and never came home again? And Rav Moshele was up all night bringing food to their wife and their children who were afraid to walk on the street. One night he was caught, and one way or the other, he tore himself away. So Rav Moshe says, I only operate at night. He covered the whole area, Baden and Vienna. I don't know how he did it. He says, I'll come back Wednesday night one more time. He says, I'm coming back Wednesday night. And he says, I knock 7. I will knock 7 times for Kovet Shabbos. And just, like, he became my Rebbe forever. Forever. And Wednesday night, we couldn't fall asleep, my brother and I. 4 o'clock sharp. There was 7 knocks on the door. And most people only say good Shabbos on Shabbos, but not Reb Moshele. He was already preparing himself for something else. For the great Shabbos, which doesn't interest Abdullah. He opened the door and he was standing there again, mamish, b'simcha, without fear. He started singing, Good Shabbos, Good Shabbos, Good Shabbos, Good Shabbos, Good Shabbos, Good Shabbos, Good Shabbos. This was the last time I saw him. When we left, I knew that he has 2 children. And, life goes so fast. Came to America and time is flying. About 10 years ago, I walk on the street in Tel Aviv, and I want you to know that the whole time, my brother and I, we didn't stop singing the melody. And all my chavre sing the melody. All our holy women, when they bench Licht Friday night, it's with this melody. All the time, everything. I walk on the street on Ben Yehuda in Tel Aviv, and suddenly a Yid comes up to me, and he says, aren't you Shlomo Carlebach from Baden by Wien? I say, yes. He says, do you remember Moshele? And you know how many Moshele I know? But it's just, I don't know why. I said, do you mean Moshele Good Shabbos? And suddenly I thought, maybe he's alive, maybe he's in Bnei Baraka somewhere. I say, why did you think of Moshele Good Shabbos? I said, you really want to know what happened to him? An Edler Yid. Just come down to the ocean that sits there. We went down there, sat by the ocean. It was about twilight. Obviously he wanted to tell me something heavy. From time to time I would look at the Yidler. God, was he crying? God, was he crying? Then he says to me, you really want to know what happened? I'll tell you. Rav Moshele got himself a false passport to go to England. And from there he had some papers to go to Israel. He's sitting ready on the train in a corner with his wife and 2 children. And I, he said, was sitting next to him. And the whole time his wife is begging him, Moshele, because he was singing though, he never stopped singing. She says to him, please, Moshe, just wait till we're out of Austria. The train slowly began to move. And he says, I have to sing Good Shabbos just one more time. He opened the window and he started singing Good Shabbos. You know, the train is moving slowly. And one of them noticed him. He just, in front of his children. They beat him to death. But the Yiddish says to me, I swear to you, he didn't stop singing Good Shabbos till the last second. So Good Shabbos, Good Shabbos, Good Shabbos, Good Shabbos. Good Shabbos, Good Shabbos, Good Shabbos. Okay, this Reb Moshe was the younger brother of the Heilige Kapitschnitzer, your uncle. And what can I say? It's not the end of the story. The story is that all my life, I was singing Good Shabbos, Good Shabbos. Nishmas Kochayo was singing. A few years ago, I was invited to sing at a bar mitzvah in Manchester. And I left Tel Aviv Friday morning, and there's a flight, Tel Aviv, London, Manchester. While we are sitting on the plane, there's an announcement that there is an airstrike in London, and airplanes are delayed 14 hours. So he says we are landing in Zurich, and that's all I can say. Next to me is a Yid, and he says to me, I told him, Gewalt, I have to be in Manchester Sunday, 2 o'clock in the afternoon. So he says, I'll tell you what, in Zurich, he says, take a plane to Brussels, to Antwerp, and stay Shabbos in Antwerp, because Sunday morning, 6 o'clock, you can get this, has a ship, it's, I don't know how, anybody knows? What? Hydrofoil. And you are at 10 o'clock in London, and then you get to Manchester. Okay, anybody who knows Antwerp, I check into a hotel, and go down Pelikanstraat, where all the Yidden are. And the first Yid, who I know, says to me, hey, are you Shabbos here? He says, be my guest and everything. While we're still talking, a young man walks, and you could see he's a king, a prince. He looked so familiar to me, but I never ask people, who are you? Because I always assume that I know them. So I'll ask later. He says to me, hey, Shlomo, you're here. Please come to my house for Shabbos. I says, I were to promise this other Yidele. But he says, please give me your number. If I have a Malke, a gathering Saturday night, I'll invite you. Then he walked away. And I said to the person, who is this? He looks so familiar. I says, don't you know? He's the son of Moshele Good Shabbos. I remember Moshele had told us he has a son, Laser. Unbelievable. He looks like his father. Like all the Rishna Eniklach, little beard. Yes. Went to Shabbos, we had a gathering. And I say, Laser, do you know your father's niggin? No, God, he was too small to remember. So I said to him later, you know something? It's clear to me that the whole airstrike in London was only that I should go be Shabbos in Antwerp so I can give you over the niggin which your father left for you, and never had a chance to teach you. So I taught Laser the niggin. I want you to know all the people who were there. The floor was wet with tears. Can you imagine what it meant for Laser? I gave him all the millions his father left. But this is still not the end. I'm just telling you the other part of the story. On that Shabbos, I'm in Antwerp, I daven in Shotke Vaklois and Shotke Vesmelish. And maybe some of you know, some of us on the level, we're almost crazy about Sforim, about books. I have a lot of books, but I'm not always, is there any book I don't have yet? So I'm walking around the Shotke Vesmelish, hundreds of Sforim. Suddenly I see a sefer, which I've never seen before. You know, I'm sure some of you know how to learn. You know, there's one part of the Talmud Taras, the laws of purity, which very few people know. And there's a sefer. Unbelievable. He asks one question, one kasha,